BORDA's approach to use water is as a means, not the end. So the reason why we have increased our life expectancy over the past 100 years by 30 years, 25 of those 30 years of increased life expectancy go around the management of water for the prevention of disease and for the furthering of public health. So it's a huge trigger, actually. And that's why water is so much key for all development. It's actually the precondition. The human right to water and the second human right to sanitation, which are two different rights, are a trigger, of course. So making political commitments and setting some budgets is something, but having a legal framework is another thing. So actually it's regarding holding accountable promises and sorting the facts from fiction. It's very helpful. The vision is clearly set out by the Sustainable Development Goals. In themselves, they are a vision, and they talk about universal access to water for all, not only the access but also the safe management. And they talk about total sanitation for all, so safely managed. And for the first time since the existence of the United Nations, since 17 years, for the first time, even wastewater is worthwhile mentioning, and the amount of untreated wastewater should be reduced by 50%. Now that's a huge step forward. And we're all living in this world, I mean, in some watershed, and 40% of the world population is living in shared watersheds, transboundary water. So if we want to increase progress, we cannot run away from the fact that some rivers like the Nile or the Rhine in Europe is crossing borders. So we have to negotiate with our neighbors as well. So the vision is set already clear. I couldn't have put it better than formulated in the Sustainable Development Goals. The train is running, so it's time to step on board and get it implemented. My personal relationship to water is early days, holiday. Since I'm 3 years old, we went to Denmark. So the Baltic Sea, for me, is the kind of water experience, personally diving and drowning in the water of the Baltic Sea. Now this water is heavily impacted by untreated wastewater. So these days I wonder myself, is it still okay? In 2003 I was in Bremen, in one of the towns shoring the Baltic Sea. We had a lot of algae there. So my personal relationship is essential relationship, and from there, how can we dedicate smart regulation and implement it so that we keep those precious water bodies safe and healthy?